Well, hello. Welcome back to watch another TCG game of mine. I once again went out of my way to actually make a video out of this because I had a rather interesting match, at least for me. It's not often I get to face against top of the line players like Kaito here. You can see I'm using a novel labeled Xingyan deck while our opponent uses some variation of the same deck with Serpent instead of Xingyan. Most likely for the skill being able to draw cards and, well, burst doing a lot of damage. I mean, if this was Conwell, I probably would have had a very different game, with me getting absolutely wrecked. But it's not Conwell, so I'm doing completely fine. They do some basic setup, I decide to do the same. Using the ABEP skill to get one, awaken my Kindred card, and then simply leave a Harbor and a Timaeus. Then we go for a dice rolling intermission. Now here my dice actually isn't that great. I have to do a little juggling with that. They play a Mausoleum, and while against many other decks, a Mausoleum is a very good counter. Like all underwater treasure decks are countered by a well-played Mausoleum. They of course play it here because they want the Loomstone to activate, and they see that I have the Lure Harbor, which means that by the end of this round, Mausoleum will for sure activate. But that of course isn't any trouble for me as long as I have Xingyan, because Xingyan's burst discards all the cards in my hand, no matter what they are. So the Forbidden Knowledge is actually nothing more but HP for Narwhal. And here I do some artifact juggling to make use of my not so great dice. But I get lucky with Gilded Dreams here. Let's speed it over a little. There I tuned the Millilet because I want the Xingyan skill to discard Countdown to Showdown for sure. Which it now does. And because I have Gilded Dreams and I just made an elemental reaction, I immediately draw it back. Then here, you can see that they have Serpent with 2 energy. They have 6 dice. In theory, Serpent's Burst could kill Xingyan if they have a Bone Cruncher block and an Adeptus, and when they play the Adeptus, Loomstone would activate and give them another Bone Cruncher. But the chance of this actually happening is so small that I'm not scared at all of them actually bursting the Serpent. It's so unlikely to happen, and it doesn't happen. And here I actually just draw more cards because once again the Mausoleum is it's of no inconvenience to me. I can just discard all the cards. But here, what I do have to consider is I'm unable to kill the Serpent this round. The Serpent will burst next round. I have to choose a character to sacrifice. And what I decide to do is, because I have already committed to the plan to activate the Mausoleum's effect and then use Countdown to Showdown to draw all of the Forbidden Knowledge from my deck, and then use Xingyan's Burst to discard it all. And I already have an artifact on Narwhal, and I have 0 stacks on Heart of Oasis. My plan is simply to sacrifice Uphep. And here, countdown to showdown going back to our hand doesn't matter because it goes on top of the hand, on top of the forbidden knowledge. So I get to draw it with this immediately. And here actually once again I am lucky with our opponent getting an Hydro Summoner. Because Hydro and Dendro have a reaction, it creates a Dendro core that does absolutely nothing for them unless they gain an Electro or Pyro Summon or Novel gets its burst. Only in those scenarios does a Dendro core do anything for them. And I mean, if this had been Cryo, come next round, Serpent would burst, kill Apep, Novel and Xingyan would have Cryo application. They would be able to freeze both of my characters with Novel. And that would have been really bad. Then we have another dice rolling intermission. And this is where things get a little, for a moment, a little difficult for me, because they play another Mausoleum. Meaning if I play Countdown to Showdown, I will draw all the current Forbidden Knowledge in my deck. But then this will activate and give me even more. Meaning that if come next round, I will have nothing but Forbidden Knowledge in my hand. And that's not good for me. So I'm here like, okay, what am I gonna do about this? Should I just use Novel to kill Serpent when Apep dies? What should I do? Well, once again, luck is on my side. They do not have enough Bone Crunchers. Actually, let's check quickly. Yeah, so they have played a Bone Cruncher, so at the start of the round they had 2 Bone Crunch blocks. But that isn't enough to kill Apep without Adeptus. And as you can see, they do not have Adeptus. So I got really lucky here. They were unable to immediately kill Apep, which means that I can actually stall this round. By doing simply a skill with Apep. Once again, it doesn't matter that the Serpent doesn't die, because my original plan was already based on the fact that Serpent would kill one of my characters. It doesn't matter that it leaves now. I mean, even if they now switch characters, Xingyan's burst would take out the Serpent.
Let's jam!
And here, because I know they are unable to take out Xingyan this round, I play a Forbidden Knowledge to make sure the Mausoleum takes effect this round, and then I just waste all my dice playing cards. With a Lotus to make extra sure that nothing happens to Xingyan. And now here we got lucky with a Cryo Villager. Because Cryo and Dendro don't have a reaction, their Novel now has double elemental affliction here. Is it affliction? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just gonna use that word. And another dice rolling intermission. Now here my plan goes into motion. So I start with Countdown to Showdown to draw Forbidden Knowledge of my deck. Then, as you can see, I have Timaeus with 2 stacks and the Golden House, and counting like all the possible things here. Deep Diver's Domain, this 1 stack is a 2-cost card, the Countdown to Showdown when it was 2-cost card, and I discarded it with Xingyan's skill. Xingyan's burst and will discard all of these cards in my hand. Deep Dower's Domain counts the cards from left to right. So okay, 2 cost, that's 3 HP, another 3 HP. Okay, here I have to actually think how I wanna do this. The maximum I can get is 2 HP with either this and this discarded in the same batch, or this and this discarded in the same batch. But because I can play Millileth and I don't wanna waste my Arcane, I play those 2. Now of course, because Xingyan only has 4 HP, I play the Arcane card on Narwhal. But I did play the Millileth on Xingyan, because now, once this is all over, you see that I gain 2 dice from the Marachussi Hunters here. So that means I can do 2 skills on Narwhal, which is of course what I want to do. And because now they either kill Xingyan, which is a free switch to Narwhal, or they simply hit it, which triggers the Millileth, which gives me the 1 dice I can use to switch to Narwhal and still do 2 skills. And here our opponent realizes they are in a bit of a they are in for a hard time. So they use the Lotus, they use Day of Resistance, making sure that their Narwhal would not get taken out this round. And here, once again, I'm playing against a top of the line player. They now have 4 dice, 2 energy on Narwhal. I'm for sure, I'm like, when I was playing this game, for sure they had enough Hydro dice to use the ultimate, the Elemental Burst on Narwhal, which would have taken out Xingyan and done massive amounts of damage to Narwhal. But because they have Cryo application that takes priority over the Dendro, I don't have to worry about that, because I was lucky with the Cryo Hilichur here. And now the best they can do is, well, attack on Apep, because Apep is now on Super Saiyan mode. And here, this switch is probably what in the end cost them the game. There was the chance that if they had stayed on Apep, yes, it would have died to the Xingyan's burst and my summons. And because Narwhal does have Day of Resistance, in that sense it would have made much more sense to just switch to Narwhal. But this actually is a bad move. I'd say probably a bad move from them. I would have probably sacrificed Apep here, because their character is frozen and has a Dendro application. So when the round ends and Festive Fire activates, I actually do quite a lot of damage to their character. And now you can see I have 4 summons. And that, once again, because Cryo takes priority over Dendro, their Narwhal is left with 2 HP and a Dendro application. And well, those of you who know how Narwhal's burst works, it does 1 hydro damage to the active character, which means the Bloom reaction will take out their Narwhal here. So in the end, it probably would have been better for them to stay on Apep and sacrifice it to have the Narwhal on higher amounts of HP. Because for sure I would have attacked, which means they would have gained a 3rd card, which would have either been a little more HP for Narwhal or activating the Loomstone. Whichever, well, however it would have gone. But now, because they switch to normal. What I do here is tune some cards, and here that tuning the Apep's talent card was not the best move. I should have tuned Kill the Dreams there. But I was somewhat sure that I was going to win this at this point. They only have 2 cards. There's the chance that they have awful dice. I get to burst Naval, which will take out their Naval. And I have 6 HP. Naval's burst decreases the damage your active character takes. I'm feeling good. So even if that part wasn't optimal, I'm very sure that I'm going to win this. But here is actually where the Kill the Dreams tuning came in clutch, because the Dark Shadow gains usage based on the highest cost card you have tuned or discarded. In my deck, that's the 3 cost cards. And as you can see by the usage, I have only discarded and tuned 3 cost cards. But that last Kill the Dreams that I did remember to discard in the end lets the Dark Shadow stay on 1 usage after Apep attacks. Which means that now that I have a Dendro Core, Dark Shadow, and they have a Hydro application, and because Dark Shadow is incredibly stupid because it attacks when you declare your round, even if it only has 1 usage, I can just end my round and immediately win. And that's that.